Thank you, everyone, for joining in tonight. I want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to join me on this informative call to find out more about what I consider one of the most significant decisions that I've made in my life to this point. I believe this is going to be a great time for everyone, and I want to share some exciting things about what it's done for me. I started this program 2 weeks ago, and I had no hesitation because I love medical technology. I've always been a Star Trek fan, but my situation was I had stiffness in my neck, and I met my wife and I met JT and Santa, and they patched me and my wife. And when they patched me on the back of my neck, I actually had some stiffness in my neck that I didn't tell them about. And after I used the patch, that stiffness went away, and I no longer was snoring, as my wife was witness to me. And also, I had a great night's sleep, and I'm still sleeping very well to this point. And I can see other benefits too. I'm actually a type 2 diabetic, and as a result of putting the patch below my navel, my digestive problems have dissipated, and I'm doing great. I'm gonna check it out next week in my doctor's appointment. To God be the glory. My wife wants to share something briefly as well about what the patch has meant to her, this new technology.
Yes, we met JT and Santa last week, a couple of weeks now. It's been 2 weeks this week. And I was having some serious foot problems where my feet were tender. I had just left the podiatrist like 3 days earlier, and he had told me to stay off of it. And when she put that patch on the back of my neck, I immediately felt in my hands like a rejuvenation, like a flowing, like my blood was circulating really well. And then my feet, I was like, oh my goodness, my feet just stopped hurting. And since then, it has not been hurting. So I'm just grateful that we was introduced to them. And this is definitely a health benefit for me, because I have some other issues that's been going on in my body. And with this patch, it has helped me a lot. I'm seeing a difference in some other areas as well.
Thank you, sweetie. As I shared with you, tonight we'll be talking about stem cell technology, and I'm very excited that we have experts on the call who will be doing the presentation and elaboration about this whole subject. Our presenter started her journey with stem cell technology just 1 year ago. And because of her dedication and commitment to this project, she has already touched thousands of people and their lives. Please let me introduce to you tonight, Robin Alexis Clark.
Thank you so much, Bishop, and his lovely wife, Charlene. I would just like to ask first, anyone who is not speaking yet, if you could just stop your video and mute yourself. And then as soon as we have you to come up, we will have you to open up your screen again so I can see the main screen. So Curtis, you can close your screen as well. Deborah can close her screen. Okay. So again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that amazing testimony, Bishop Grandeson and his beautiful wife, Charlene. I'm telling you, what we're seeing right now is a new way to wellness, guys, a new way to wellness. And so we're so excited about it. And basically, that's why you were invited to this call tonight, because Bishop said, I want to share this. I want to share this. You cannot share it because it's so invaluable. And so with that being said, I want to tell a little bit about myself. I was introduced to the patch about a year ago by my very dear friend, Verdita Mock, who will be coming on later. She and her husband called me and they said, you know, Robin, you need to look at this. And I didn't really think about myself at first as being a candidate, didn't think about all the issues that I had, but I thought about a brother who I had, who was having a lot of nerve damage from a previous injury years ago and was still in a lot of residual pain. And I thought about a girlfriend of mine who lived in Chicago, who also was having a lot of problems with her back. And she was also getting injections in her back on a regular basis. So I thought about those two people first. And as I watched a call, just like we're doing here today, and listened to some of the testimonies, I thought, wow, I don't know anybody who could not use this technology. And we're talking about one simple little patch that looks just like this, smaller than a Band-Aid and just tiny, but it's so powerful because it's helping our bodies to heal themselves. So for me and my testimony, like I said, when I was called, I kind of reluctantly put the patch on and shared it with my friend and my brother. But I noticed for me, within just a few days wearing the patch, it helped me with my sleep. I was suffering with insomnia, okay? 40 years of moving back to Atlanta, and I was really stressed out. So I wasn't sleeping at night, and I was concerned about what the future would hold, being having to relocate, and I'm in my mid-60s. So after a few days for me, it literally happened a few days, I found myself sleeping so calm and just waking up refreshed and just a deep restorative type of sleep, right? And so that for me was great, because then if you're sleeping better, that means your energy level is better the next day. Therefore, I was able to chase and run after my 2-year-old granddaughter. But it wasn't until a month after using the patch that I realized it had also helped me with my blood pressure. My father died at 38, blood pressure complications. His dad died at 38, blood pressure complications. So we have a history of blood pressure issues. I was put on blood pressure medication in my late 30s, early 40s, and I had always had blood pressure ranging from 148 over 80, low 80s, but still it was high, but it was just maintained. After using the patch a month, and it maybe even corrected it before then, but a month after using the patch, I went back to my doctor, and my doctor said, wow, your blood pressure is 120 over 71. Do you know I've been able to maintain that by just wearing this patch? What it's doing, it's helping my body to heal itself. So I just said that was a big wow, and therefore I needed to continue to share this technology with everybody that I knew. And also, it just starts like that. You're just going to want to share it with everybody you know. So the big question of the day is, have you been patched? And if you haven't been patched yet, guess what? You will want to. How can you use patches before the end of this call? The patch is going to help to elevate, to activate, and regenerate your own body. As you can see, it's a small patch. This young lady just has it on her shoulder, and you can put it pretty much anywhere on your body. This is a picture of our CEO and inventor, David Schmidt. He's an amazing individual. I had an opportunity to meet him. We had a conference in Tampa last summer, and just listening to him and how passionate he is about what he's doing in regenerative science. That's what it's called. It's not about anti-aging, but it's about age reversing and making everyone feel much better. Because guess what? Everybody on this call, we have one thing in common, and that is we are all aging, right? We're all aging, but why not age gracefully? So David Schmidt has over 180 patents. He is a scientist and inventor. He specializes, as I said, in age reversing. And in 2008 was when he focused his attention on stem cell research. Because prior to that, he had an assignment where he worked for the US government, and he developed a patch for the naval officers, which helped them to keep their energy level up so they could come off some of the caffeine and high energy drinks they were taking. When he came up with that energy patch, that was just the beginning when he said, let's see what else we can do with this. So it took 10 years and $4.5 million to bring this X39 patent to market. Thank you, David Schmidt. Next slide. Okay, so this slide just shows you a copy of our US patent that we have. And this patent was in 2020. We have about 17 more years on the patent, a proprietary patent. No one else can use or can have this X39 patch but us. And as a result, it elevates our copper peptides. including activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation, and antioxidants. And let me tell you, this is why you can stand strong on this, because we have a patent, and a patent, in order to get a patent, you have to prove that it works, right? So case studies were done. Over 80 case studies were done, and they had to show that this particular patch worked to do what it said it would do. And it elevates our copper peptides, which in turn activates our stem cells. And that's why we say we're healing from the inside out. How does it work? Once again, I'll go back to what we're dealing with is a proprietary form of phototherapy. So if you're not familiar with the term phototherapy, it's been around for over 100 years, okay? It's where you use light to improve the health of the body. So it's nothing new. I mean, when I say hundreds of years, it goes back to the ancient Greeks and back to where the Egyptians used light therapy. So that's what phototherapy is. And what we have in this patch is a patented nanocrystal technology, meaning there are no stem cells. No stem cells are in this patch. They're just organic nanocrystals, salt, and water. And it uses light to activate our own stem cells. It is non-transdermal, meaning nothing can transfer from this patch into your bloodstream. So we have people who are still on medication, and that's okay. You can still take your medication because nothing is transferred into your bloodstream. There are no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants. It is non-invasive. We do have to tell you that LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or mitigate any disease or medical condition. So you have to know that. So this is how it works. We got the benefits of the X39 patch, and we're going to go into that in just a moment. But before we go into the benefits, I want to bring on someone who can give a live testimony. Because testimonies, I mean, we could talk all day about the facts, but really what sells this, or what gets people to understand how valuable this is our testimonies. And the first person I want to bring up is James and Santa Thompson. And they were the ones who introduced Bishop Grandeson and his wife to the patch. James, are you available to unmute and turn on your video?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah. Well, I'll go first. I was introduced to this patch from a friend in Dallas, Texas. He sent me a couple of these patches, and I got a little relief. I noticed that I did sleep good, but I got good sleep, and I got some relief in my shoulders, which I was really worried about. So I called him back and asked him to send me some more patches. And he said, I don't have any more, but I can tell you where you can get some more. So that's when he introduced me to the host here, Robin Clark. So Robin signed me up in the business. I got some patches, got started. My wife wanted to kind of observe me for a couple of weeks, and she did. But anyway, I saw great sleep. I saw relief in my shoulders, relief in my knee. I had a doctor wanted to do talking about doing a knee replacement on one of my knees. And I said, absolutely not at this age of my life. And then they talked about doing a rotator cuff surgery on my shoulder. And I said, no, no, no. And the Lord is just great. People say he's good, but he's great. But I was introduced to these patches, and when I started using them, before I started using them, I used to have to shave. I used to have to hold my right elbow with my left hand just to shave. That's how bad my shoulders was. So after about a week, I noticed my shoulders were getting better. So I said, something about this is different. So, and I'm talking about years of my shoulders being like this, because I played a few years in the NFL, and of course before NFL, college, high school, junior high school. But anyway, after about little over a week, I noticed my shoulders were feeling better. So I went outside and grabbed my golf club, which I haven't swung in over 7 years. So I went out, got next to my driveway and swung my clubs, and I said, oh, It's got to be these patches. So I was just ignorance on fire. I didn't know any better. I was actually putting on 2 patches at a time, one behind my neck and one under my belly button. And they told me later I didn't need but one. But anyway, it is fantastic. It works well. It absolutely works. I just recommend everybody to use these patches because I could go over a number of other things it's done for me, but I won't take that much time. I'll let my wife tell her story.
Hello, everyone. Robin, we just are so grateful that the way that you are, the leadership that you have, and we just thank you for this opportunity to share. I was what they call a one-patch wonder. I had been suffering from having to go up and down stairs, one step at a time, holding onto the rail. And I put the patch on June 24th and was able to navigate we were out in Colorado Springs, navigate coming up from our friend's basement without holding on to the rails, normally coming up the steps. So I have been using these patches and I won't stop using them. And I just thank God that we have had the opportunity to come across them. I'm a retired pharmacist and I don't like to indicate to people to take medications because that's just a temporary fix. We know that they don't cure any, and we know that these patches don't cure, but they help us to have a better quality of life. So like you said earlier, this is the new form of wellness for us, health and wellness. Thank you again, Robin.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Thank you both for sharing your testimony. I mean, every time I forgot some of the stuff you were talking about, JT. I'm telling you, if you listen to these testimonies, you will hear across the board that we are rewinding our biological clock. That's basically what we're doing, okay? Our bodies are healing from within. So I'm gonna move on because we definitely have one more testimony, and I think the gentleman I'm about to bring up, you guys introduced to the business or introduced him to the patch. And that would be Mr. Curtis Young. Curtis, can you also unmute yourself and open your video so we can see your face? Are you there, Curtis? Curtis, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can you, there you go, there you
There
go.
we go.
Thank
Good
you so
evening, my
much.
good people. How are you? How's everyone this evening? Can y'all hear me?
Everyone is muted.
We can hear you, go ahead.
We can hear you
Okay.
and we're doing great.
Great, great. Well, my neighbors Santa and JT, I will watch them walk around the neighborhood. I'll be out in the garage. And we got to talking, and Miss Santa came in the garage one day and did like 10 to 15 squats without hurling on to anything. I was amazed. I mess around and I'm an electrician for the Department of Defense, and I work on the new warships. In late October, I had a problem with my left leg. Come to find out, I had no blood flow in my whole left leg. So I went in the hospital, got a couple of stents put in, but my foot still had no flow, no blood flow at all to my foot. I had to go out to Virginia to work. I couldn't even go on the ship and work. JT and Santa patched me up. Went to my doctor a week ago. I've been patched close to a month now. And my doctors, they want to cut my leg from the knee down, take it off. Now the doctor tells me as of last week, the color's coming back to my foot. My pain level went from a 15 to a 4. And I'm actually sleeping all night. With the pain, I was up all night, every night. Now, my wife actually getting me to turn over now because I'm snoring, I'm sleeping so good. So I go back to the doctor Monday, then I go back to the podiatrist the 29th, and I'm looking forward to what they tell me because my regular doctor seen the patches and she didn't know what they were. What's this? And I told her, she said, keep doing what you're doing. So I just want to share that, and I'm happy I'm on board. I got about 3 months worth of patches right now. I'm gonna keep going.
Thank you so much, Curtis. Curtis, that's amazing. Let me tell you, all I know is that patch has increased the energy flow in your body. That's why your body is healing. That's why you went back and they said that leg does not have to be amputated. That's amazing. I mean, that's what I call a praise report, for real. So thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so very much. Well,
Thank
listen,
you.
guys, I mean, thank you. You can go ahead and close up your camera. Thank you so much for sharing. All I know is that we hear testimonials like this every day, every day. And how can you not share something like this when you hear what it's doing for someone? I mean, if you care about people, you want to share. So a lot of people think, well, I don't sell anything. I was told this. I can't sell anything, Robin. I'm not like you. Well, listen, if you're talking about something that's good, a movie, or going to a great restaurant, you're sharing, right? So that's all we do with this, about this business, about this patch. We just share how wonderful it is, how it's changing other people's lives. And even if you don't have your own personal testimony, because sometimes it may take longer than 2 days or a week or a month, may take up to 3 months. And we'll talk to you in a minute about how you can get your hand on your own patches so you can have your own testimony. But everybody's body is different. But all we say is it's time for you to experience the miracles that come along with wearing the X39. Can you see this? The X39 patch. Anyway, I'm going to introduce my dear friend who introduced me to the patch. Her name is Verdita Mock, and she and her husband Harvey are leaders in this industry. They're leaders in this particular business because they've made it all the way to the very top of this organization as senior presidential directors. And again, if it hadn't been for her calling me, I don't know if I would have met JT. I don't know if JT would have had the chance to reach out to Curtis and also to Bishop Grandeson and his wife. So we're just excited about how this thing just multiplies and multiplies. So without further ado, my very dear friend Verdita Mock is going to take us on the next part of this journey about how we're changing lives. So Verdita, would you take it away?
Yes, I will. Robin, thank you so much for putting this call together. Thank you for the Grandesons reaching out and inviting people and so many of the other people on the call. I'm so happy that, number one, you caught the vision. I'm so happy that you're experiencing the benefits of these patches. You guys, this is incredible. And that's why my husband and I decided to partner with LifeWave, is because, you know, something similar to what you heard, maybe something similar, I say, happened to us. See, our friend Ken Robinson reached out to us one day, and we were literally running because we were about to go out of town. But he seemed pretty anxious to catch up with us, and he wanted to tell us all about it. He wanted to share some of these patches. He wanted to give us some of these patches. And so he also invited us on a call like the one you're on tonight. And we heard some of the most amazing testimonies. We could not believe what we were hearing. And so when we went out of town, we were just like Robin. She didn't think it was something that she needed. We didn't take any type of medications. We didn't have any type of pain or any issues. So we just didn't think, well, we were not like those people on that call. We didn't need these patches, but we did it anyway. And let me tell you what happened the first night. The first night, well, the next morning after wearing the patch, I woke up and I felt like I had been in a dream world. I'd never remembered sleeping like that before. I slept so deep. It was a very unusual sleep. And the reason I believe, another reason I slept so deeply, is because my husband also slept all night. And why that's so significant is my husband was a chronic sleeper. He had a sleeping disorder where he would choke and he would snore really deeply and really bad loudly, where it was just terrible. I couldn't sleep because he was so loud. He also was choking and coughing, acid reflux, you name it. I mean, it was terrible and it was scary. And of course, I was very, very frustrated because I wasn't getting any sleep either. But he stopped snoring that night and has not snored since November the 12th of 2022. See, that's not something we thought a patch like this would do. We just thought it was for pain or some type of other kind of medical condition. But really, a sleeping disorder is a medical condition. I mean, it has to do with your respiratory and your breathing, breathing. So it's very, very real. But it changed our life. But what went through our mind after that was, after all those testimonies we heard, and then when we experienced something ourselves, we knew that we had to tell everybody we knew, because they, everybody needs this patch. I don't care what you may think your body's doing, because it's going to continue to get younger and younger. I'm going to elaborate. I'm going to go back into this presentation, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit more so that you can see, what we mean. Here's some of the benefits of this patch, and some of them you may have already heard. For example, as we get older, don't you feel that you're not as strong? If you're over 60, you're going to feel like you're just not as strong as you used to be. And you're going to get increased strength, reduced inflammation. Inflammation is the culprit of most diseases and illnesses. And, it's going to reduce that inflammation, increase stamina, energy and vitality, and mental clarity. See, those two things right there, as we get older, the energy goes down. We forget things a lot. And I know, me being an interior designer, I have my own company, and I have a lot going on, and I have a lot of details, and I used to get overwhelmed, not thinking that I was going to make it through the day or finish the project on time, stuff like that. Now I'm breezing through it. It's still hectic, don't get me wrong, but I'm dealing with it and calm about it because of the mental clarity. I can remember things. Restored muscular and skeletal conditions. Do you realize that as we get older, we sometimes develop something called osteoporosis, which means our bones are not as dense as they used to be. And if, Lord behold, if we fall and crack or break a bone, it's going to take forever for that skeletal system to restore itself. And then I already told you about the improvement of sleep, what my husband and I experienced, what Robin experienced, improved skin appearance. There's so many ways that our skin is improving. For example, there's a gentleman who had, I think it's called vitiligo, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, where you have the discoloration. He was dark skinned, but he had the light skin, contrast. And within 90 days, his whole face was almost completely brown. I mean, these are kinds of things that doctors can't really do anything about. And so this is this patch is, with no exaggeration, it is simply amazing. That's all I can say. Now we're here to achieve optimal health, a state of complete physical and mental and social well-being. And as Robin said, we're not, able to say that these patches are able to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medication. They're simply rebooting our body so that they can heal themselves. Okay, my slide is stuck. Not sure what's going on here. There we go. Now, technology. Let me tell you about some of the long-term results. Robin told you that there were over 80 case studies. So what you're looking at right here is reflection of what actually happened during those case studies. These case studies were performed by some of the world's most prominent physicians. So in the first few days, they noticed that 4,000 genes begin to reset. That never happens. They say even, resveratrol that's in wine extends your life. And they say that resveratrol will only reset 2 genes for a glass of wine. So can you imagine how many glasses of wine you'd have to drink to get 4,000 genes to be reset? And in this case, with this one little patch, just in a few days, over 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. Do you know anybody that has dementia, that has, depression, PTSD, Alzheimer's? Those types of things indicate that your brain is unbalanced. And those kinds of situations, those symptoms went away within 6 weeks, you guys. Within 3 months, the collagen is increased. Collagen is all through our body, our bones, our tissues. Every organ has collagen in it. And that's why it's so important. And within 3 months, it began to increase. Within 6 months, the heart reverses in age. I want to give you a graphical understanding of what I'm talking about, because we have a friend, some of us know this gentleman because he shared his testimony before, and I know him very well. His name is Jeffrey. Jeffrey's diabetic. For 10 years, he was taking 5 shots of insulin per day. And then after 3 days of wearing the patch, he was able to drop down to a half of an injection in the morning when he woke up, and another half of an injection before he went to bed at night. Then also because of that diabetes, he had a stroke. Sometimes people that are diabetic have strokes. So 3 years ago, he had a stroke and it left him paralyzed on one side of his body. And it also left him where his heart was not functioning as it should. So they were not able to leave. He was not able to leave the hospital without getting a pacemaker in his heart. Well, they had him coming back to the cardiologist every 6 weeks. And 6 weeks after wearing the patch was when it was time for him to go back to the cardiologist. When he went, the cardiologist says, comes out of the room, you know, with his paperwork, just flying with the paperwork. You're not going to believe this, Mr. Payton. Your heart is operating on its own. It's no longer relying on the pacemaker and the defibrillator. And they just couldn't believe. They said that never happened. He was going every 6 weeks for 3 years. So do you know how happy he was to hear that? And so that's what we mean when we say the heart reverses in age, because the stem cells in his heart reactivated. See, we're talking about dormant cells that are sitting there in our body that by the time we're age 30, we lose half of them. They go dormant. By the time we're age 60, almost all of our stem cells are gone. That's why our bodies cannot heal themselves. They're designed to heal themselves. And that's what happened with him. Those heart cells started reactivating. So it's not anti-aging, according to David Schmidt, it's age reversing. And so we're real excited about that. Now, I want to show you how simple it is to wear this patch. You see these two diagrams on the right. This is where they use those patches in the case studies because they wanted to be consistent. They wanted everybody to be using them in the same location so they can, you know, have a way of measuring the success. And so, but you literally can put it below the belly button, behind the C7 vertebrae on your neck where you've been over, that's the bone that sticks up, or you can put it anywhere. They just show this for consistency. So you just put it anywhere on your body. We're at 12 hours on, 12 hours off. You don't have to swallow any pills or anything like that. Just drink plenty of water. And so you just put this patch on, make sure you're hydrated because we're talking about energy flowing through your body. Throw it away and just wear it for 12 hours on, 12 hours off. The next morning, so you're going to get 30 of these patches in this package. So when you get these 30 patches, you have a new one every day. It's like a Band-Aid, okay? Now, you know, we already told you about some of the amazing testimonies, and, you know, because they really explain it all. And I hope you know, are thinking of people that you care about that need these patches. You heard Curtis's testimony where they're about to amputate his foot, his leg, well, actually his knee, from his knee down. Can you just imagine how afraid he was? And so think about those people, write their names down because we're hoping that you're going to be motivated to reach out to them and tell them about this. So you want to go to this site. This is at info.com. It's going to elaborate everything we talked about tonight because we'd be here all night telling you what this patch is going to do. But you've got doctors' reviews. You got the case studies on there. You got videos on there to explain it. Everything you need to know is on this site. Now, let me ask you to put your business hat on now because you've heard the word you know, a couple of people mentioned the word business. First of all, I want you to know that, you know, no one is required to build a business or anything, but we, you know, everybody we're hoping is wanting to use these patches. But I'll tell you in a little bit how you're going to get access to these patches, but I'm asking you to put your business hat on right now because I want you to know that there is an opportunity for you. If you have some dreams and goals that you'd like to reach in your life, you want to know that, I want you to know that LifeWave actually compensates us for sharing this. You see, because this 19-year-old company went from $20 million to over $320 million in the last 3 years. But last year, at the end of 2023, we exceeded $420 million. That just shows you the company is growing by leaps and bounds. It's because of the word of mouth. There's no way that you can share some of these testimonies with people and then not want to get some of these patches. That's why the company's growing. But remember, Robin told you that in about almost 20 years ago, David Schmidt first created his first patch. It was called the Energy Patch. He created it for the Navy SEALs. The Navy SEALs are an elite, you know, group of Navy people who, you know, they send them out on missions. And so for him to be commissioned by the federal government lets you know how brilliant he is. And so it spread so fast, you guys, now in over 75 countries just in the last 3 years. And so this is not a Me Too product like some company where you can go and get weight loss or skincare or supplements. You can literally get all of those at Walmart or Whole Foods, but you cannot get the X39 patch. So all those other patches, and you know, he has over 180 patents that David Schmidt created, cannot touch the X39. And that's the reason the company exploded in 3 years, okay? Now, I want you to look at this list right here and think what's most important in your life. Is it your family, time freedom, security, travel, better health, less debt? All of those things sound real good to me. But I'm going to share with you one of the most important things in my life, and that is family. Because, you know, you can have money, you can have a lot of free time, you can be able to travel all over the world, and you can be debt free. But if family is just real important to me, because, you know, especially now that we have grandchildren, little bitty tiny babies that are so sweet. And, you know, by the time that I'm 90 years old, if you know, if you look at some of our other relatives, I may be on a cane, walking on a cane or something. I may, you know, be bedridden, but I don't want to be there. I want to be active and able to hug them, and they not have to wait on me in the bed. So I want to be around for my family and enjoy them as long as I can. So think about this list and what's important to you, and also think about those people who you've thought about earlier as we started going over some of those issues. So now let me show you how the company is going to actually compensate you. Because let's say Curtis, I'm going to use him as an example because he's on this call. Curtis, if you decided that you wanted to become what we call a brand partner with us, and you knew some people that once you told them your testimony and they listened to this, they want to try some of these patches, they may want to buy one of our packages, which I'll share with you in a moment how the package, what the packages are all about. But let's say you introduced Curtis, you introduced this to your sister. She may fall on your left team, and then you turn around and maybe your aunt is suffering from you know, had a stroke or something, and you put her on your right team. You're just going to keep introducing these to people, and they're going to fall on your left team or your right team. But guess what else is going to happen, Curtis? Al Randy, I'm not sure if I got the name right, but y'all know Al and his wife, the bishop and his wife, they may introduce somebody to the business. Guess where they're going to fall? They're going to fall under you somewhere, because this is what this whole structure is about. It's called a binary commission. It's a binary structure, and it's called a team commission because we all work as a team to make it grow. Every time somebody buys some of these patches, that person falls in our binary. It's a beautiful thing because, Curtis, you're going to get paid on every single person that falls under you, whether you know them or not. And it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's the first way we get paid. And you can get earn up to $25,000 per week in the binary. Actually, it's the second way we get paid, because you get paid. The first way of getting paid is when they purchase the pack, the company's going to give you what you call a fast start commission. But then when they go into the binary, it's going to generate volume. The third way we get paid, I love it. It's called the matching bonus. Simply this. Let's say, Curtis, that you knew 10 people that you decide to get these patches through you, and they'll fall on what you call your first level. And every single time those people earn money in the binary, let's say they each earn $1,000 this week, you'll get 25% of whatever they earn in the binary, which is $250. But the company's not going to take that from what they earn. The company's going to give you 25% on top of what they earn. Can you imagine $250 when they make $1,000? But remember, Curtis, I mentioned that you referred this to 10 people. So now that's $2,500. We get paid every single week. I want you to ask yourself, what would an extra $2,500 per week in that scenario do for you and your household? Okay. But guess what? Those 10 people that you referred it to, they're going to spread the word too. The people that they share it with will fall on your second level. And let's say they each enroll 10 and 10 people that got patches. Everybody knows 10 people that can use these patches. Now you got 100 people on your second level. And every time those individuals earn money in that binary that we just talked about, you're gonna get 20%, Curtis. So that would be, 20% of $1,200 times 1,000 people. I mean, 100 people. You're talking about $20,000, and it just keeps going. This is $200,000 on the third level. So, and it's all that scenario I just explained to you was all based on people sharing it with 10 people. They're not going to stop using. I guarantee you, Curtis is not going to stop using this patch. I guarantee you, Santa, she already said she's not going to stop using the patch. I know I'm not going to stop using it. And every time we reorder these patches, it generates volume. So do you see how lucrative this can be? And we're going to help you with this. You're not going to be doing this by yourself. We're going to show you how to do it if you want. So this form that you're looking at it may be text to you, Al or somebody may have texted this form to you. It just basically shows you the information that you need to provide in order to get one of these packages. You just need basically your name, address, date of birth, stuff like that, and how you're going to pay for it. But let me give you a closer look at the packages that we want to recommend you purchase. See, the first package is called a silver. Now, I want to compare that to, let's say, for example, you said, well, I just want to be a customer. I don't want to be a brand partner. I don't want to share it with anybody. I just want to use it for myself. Well, Al can definitely, send you to his website. And guess how much you're going to pay for one of these X39s? You're going to pay $150 plus tax and shipping. Well, if you got two of them, you're going to, because you got a spouse, right? You might, if you have a spouse, if you got two packages, that's $300. Well, why wouldn't you rather get 3 of these X39 sleeves for $300 rather than 2? That's the only difference. I shouldn't say the only difference. That's one difference in between being a customer and a brand partner, because just because you be a brand partner does not mean you have to share. It doesn't mean you have to build a team. It just means you're getting product at wholesale. See, I'm an interior designer and I got as much as I can. I get everything at wholesale. I don't pay retail for anything if I can help it. And that's what you're doing here. You're getting these X39s and it comes in this beautiful packaging, you guys. This one goes inside of this envelope. It's beautiful. And so for $300, you're getting a silver package, but the other benefit is you get to fall into the binary. See, if you're a customer, you don't get to fall into the binary. You don't get to benefit from all this volume and get paid every week when people are purchasing these packages. That's the package you may want to get if you just want to use the patch for you and your family. But if you want to work this as a business and make money, you may want to consider the gold pack for several reasons. First of all, you're going to have more patches. See, what we do is we share these patches with other people. When Ken Robinson met me and my husband, he gave us 10 patches, 5 for me, 5 for my husband. That's 10 because we're a couple. He wanted us to use it for a few days, but it paid off because we turned right around and bought the diamond package, which I'm going to tell you about in a moment. But the other thing about the gold package is this. If you are wanting to get promoted in our company where there are benefits as you get promoted, all you have to do is enroll 4 people with that silver package right there, 4 people to get the packages. And then you are what we call a gold. I mean, you're a manager, but you cannot be a manager unless you're a gold. So if you are not able to afford being a gold package at the beginning or just didn't get it, you can just upgrade. The difference is $200. Just pay the difference and the company will pay you send you another 2 sleeves. So you're not being penalized for not getting the gold on day 1. So get in where you fit in. You will just get in. You will not regret it. Plus, there's a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you don't like it, for some reason, you can send them back. The company will give you all your money back. The diamond pack is for the people that are serious about building this business. It is $1,600, but you get $1,900 worth of inventory. Or you can look at it as if you're paying $84 a sleeve versus $99 a sleeve. But there's several other benefits of being a diamond package as well. So let's give an example. Let's say that Curtis, we're talking about Curtis. Let's say, Curtis, you came in as a gold, but your testimony was so powerful, you shared it with someone. They say, ooh, Curtis, I want to get that diamond pack. Well, if you're a gold and you enrolled a diamond, the company's going to pay you $200. But if you did come in as a diamond yourself, then they're going to pay you $500. What happens with the other $300 that they did not give you if you were a gold is it rolls up to the person above you who is a gold. It just keeps going up to the next person who's a gold. Now, there's some more details in that. We'll explain it later. I don't want to get too deep into this, but the other benefit of the diamond package is this. Remember all those points I told you that you're going to start accumulating in that binary every time somebody signs up with a package, any of these packages here, points are associated with those, as well as every month, if you want more as sleeves, we call these a sleeve, the more points go into the binary again. But guess what? You don't get to keep those points if you are not active. How do you stay active? You stay on what we call a monthly subscription. So $99 per month is one sleeve, and it will allow you to keep your points and earn up to $100 per week. But if you get two sleeves, especially if you're married, you have to have two sleeves because each spouse needs theirs. Or if you're building the business, you need two sleeves because you need one for yourself and you need to have some to share with other people because we're running a business. And if you get those two sleeves, not only do you get to keep your points, but you also get to max the comp plan. I can't tell you how many people that I've worked with. I help my team I watch their back office and help people so much. I've seen people that were only doing one sleeve, but they had all these points. I'm telling you, some people have like 100,000 points just sitting under them. But the commission that he had available to him was $1,300. All he had to do was order one more sleeve in that 30-day period. And guess what? I said, as soon as you place this order for one sleeve, $1,300 is going to be deposited into your account. And he didn't understand it, but he believed me and he did it. And in 15 minutes, the system showed $1,300 in his back office. Do you see the difference of two sleeves versus one sleeve? See, we have a lot of momentum, y'all. We have a lot of momentum on our team. We have a lot of momentum in our company. If you're focused and if you're plugged in into these calls, because we do these calls almost every day because it's moving so fast and people need to hear this information, you will make the money. You just have to make sure that you're coachable and listen to what we suggest. So please get on the two sleeve auto ship so you don't miss out on any money. Now, here's the time I want to ask you to make your move, decide, make a decision. All you have to do is make a decision that you have some dreams and goals that you want to reach. You know, my husband and I, you heard Robin say, we reached the top position of the company. And we've just done some things recently that, you know, I promise you, we would not have been able to do some of the things that we're doing now. Like we're almost a complete renovation, you know, of our house. And that takes a lot of money to save up or coming in to do that. But we were able to do that without, you know, even touching our regular income just because of the money we're making with this business, you guys. And it has blessed us. It has allowed us to do other things that we really were not able to do. And, you know, that's one of the things we want to help you do is reach your goals, whether it's travel, whether it's send your children to college, whether it's to maybe you have a parent that you want to spend time with because they're debilitated and they need 24-hour care, whatever. Of course, if they wear those patches, they may get out of that situation. But you hear what I'm saying? The things that you really want to do, sometimes the money can help you get to that. And that's what I'm trying to share with you. So what I want to encourage you to do is get back to whoever invited you to this call tonight. Let them know that you're ready to go and let them know what package. If you need any more questions, elaboration on that, we'll definitely help you with that. But trust me, you want to, this called first movers advantage. The person that comes in next will benefit from all the other people that start coming into that binary. And if you don't understand that, we'll explain that as well. So with that, I want you to know that we do have, I told you we have calls almost every week. You can take a screenshot of this, but and that's a different Zoom call, but we have calls like this every day of the week. And then the call that our team uses this code. It's not the Zoom code that you're on right now, but this is a screen. You want to take a screenshot of this because we do launch calls several times a week as well. Matter of fact, at 10 o'clock tonight, on the East Coast, it's 10 o'clock East Coast, 7 o'clock Pacific, because we call it our West Coast expansion call. We have an amazing presenter that's going to be coming up at 10 o'clock tonight. You just take a screenshot. You're more than welcome to join that Zoom. So with that being the case, you guys, want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Get back with the person that invited you so they can help you get started. And thank you, Robin. Thank you, James. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Curtis, for all the powerful testimonies. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Verdita. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. God bless you.
God
You
bless
too.
Bishop.